so today my topic is CBD 101. This is the basics. And I have already done some videos on this in the past, but I've been learning through these last few months, trying to figure things out, and maybe I can give a very brief overview of how this all works in a way where you can understand it, because it's taken me a little while to really understand exactly what all of this means. First of all, we're going to talk about the CBD, or the endocannabinoid system. And you can say cannabinoid or cannabinoid. I really think it depends on your region where you live. In the South, I've noticed most of us say cannabinoid, but up north it sounds like it's cannabinoid. So I'm not really sure which one. I think either one is fine. So I say endocannabinoid system. And your endocannabinoid system, it was discovered in 1964 by an Israeli doctor named, I'm going to try to say his name, I've got it written down. His name is Raphael Mechoulam, and he discovered the endocannabinoid system in 1964. So this is not a recent thing. And what is the endocannabinoid system? So I'm actually going to show you what it looks like. Got a picture of it. But we have these receptors all over our body. We have one in the brain, and there's CB1 and CB2 receptors. The brain, the lungs, the vascular system, and a train is going by, y'all. I'm sorry. The liver, the colon, the immune system, the spleen, the pancreas, reproductive organs, muscles, and bones. So there is your whole chart there that shows every single, or the receptors that we know of right now, and the main receptors that we know of right now that are part of the endocannabinoid system. You have these all over. Now, CBD is well known, but there are a lot of different cannabinoids. It's not the only one. They have actually discovered over 100 at this point, and they do different things. Different cannabinoids do different things. CBD does so many things, so it has gotten a really good, I guess, reputation. Another of the cannabinoids that's gotten a reputation is THC. So you have the CBD and the THC, and a lot of people are really scared of CBD oil because of THC. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. You can get CBD oil with or without THC, and the THC is actually in hemp. There's a difference between hemp and marijuana. I'm going to show you a chart on that. So if you want to look at this chart, this is the difference in, you have the cannabis plant. In the cannabis family, you have hemp, and you have the cannabis family, you have hemp and you have marijuana. The hemp has a 0.3% THC in it. Marijuana has 15 to 20% THC. That is a lot more THC. The CBD is non-psychoactive, and the THC is psychoactive. Well, what does that mean? THC, while it has its benefits as well as a cannabinoid or a cannabinoid, the THC binds to the receptors in the body. That causes you to have hallucinations. It can cause that. It can cause psychosis. It can cause you, that's the feeling that you get when you're high. So THC has that bad reputation for those things. Now, if you get hemp, which has 0.3% dry weight of THC in it, you do not have to worry about the effects of, or the what is the name of that? Psychoactive effects of the THC. Because when you have CBD in a very high amount, in hemp you have it in a very high amount. It doesn't say it on this chart how much, but you have your CBD very, very high amounts in hemp, very, very low amounts in THC. So when you have those high amounts of CBD, the CBD actually goes in, blocks the THC from attaching to the receptors. So you can get full spectrum CBD oil with THC and not have to worry about the psychoactive properties of the THC, because the CBD will block the THC. If you get full spectrum CBD oil, you're getting the benefits of all of those cannabinoids, those over 100 plus cannabinoids. If you decide to go with CBD oil and you don't want THC, drug testing, or you're just, a little bit about it, you can get CBD oil that is THC free. And it is the CBD cannabinoid without all the other cannabinoids. Now, CBD on its own is huge. It does so many things for your body that you can really benefit from it without having all of those other cannabinoids. Now, the other cannabinoids are great and everything, but I will tell you, I have used both. I have used CBD only, and I have used CBD with THC. And when I use the CBD with the THC, the full spectrum, I have cravings and I eat. And that is one of the things about if you smoke marijuana and you have that high THC, that gives you the munchies. THC, that's what's doing that. So I have noticed with CBD, THC-free oil, my appetite is, it's not stimulated. I'm actually decreasing in how much I eat every day. It actually helps me with that. So it's appetite suppressant. So that's really helpful for me. So I prefer the CBD only without the THC, but you can go either way. Also, I have more energy on CBD only without the THC in it myself personally. My dad prefers the CBD oil with the THC because he says his knees hurt him so much that he doesn't get the full benefit of the relief from his knees hurting whenever he just takes the CBD. So different people, different results. My dad is so scrawny he could gain a few pounds and be fine. So it doesn't matter if it stimulates his appetite. He probably needs his appetite stimulated a little bit. But just to let you know, you do not have to worry when you take CBD oil. You do not have to worry about being addicted. You don't have to worry about getting high. And you don't have to worry about it hurting your brain or your mental capacity. It's actually going to help with cognitive function and your brain because you have those receptors in your brain. Your CBD cannabinoid will go in. It will not attach to the receptors, but it actually helps the receptors to work properly. So it goes in your body and it actually helps everything in your body to adjust, adapt. It's actually called an adaptogen. And I'm going to tell you what an adaptogen is. So a CBD adaptogen is, it's defined as a substance used in herbal medication for they say claimed, stabilization of physiological processes and promotion of homeostasis. The stabilization of physiological processes means that a person is able to create levels of normal functioning within their bodies when exposed to disruptive events. Homeostasis is the ability to maintain the internal function even if there are adverse environmental stimuli. Examples of adaptogens include, there's a whole bunch here. CBD is one of those. So how does it act as an adaptogen? It is being held for its capability of balancing the endocannabinoid system. It is through this process that it allows the body to handle stress and have adaptogenic properties. CBD works through two receptors in the ECH, the endocannabinoid system, the CB1 and the CB2 receptors, which allows the cannabinoid to benefit multiple systems. The endocannabinoid system works to regulate sleep, mood, reducing nervousness in crowds, and the blahs and not wanting to be around people, lowering stress levels, and your immune system. So it is amazing all this can do for you. I'm going to read just a list of some things, and the list goes on, and I can't give you diagnoses, because if I give you diagnoses, then I am not being FDA compliant. This is a superfood. This is not a drug. And the FDA says, as a superfood, we are not allowed to make claims that food is medicine, that food is good for you. Take that as you will. We can't say that food is good for you. So, you can't have good food and bad food. You can't have something that's good for you, because if we say that this is good for you and that it helps you in your body to become well, then your overall wellness, then we've made it into a drug. And if it's a drug, that has to be FDA approved. And if it has to be FDA approved, they're not going to approve it. And so that's being the case. This is a superfood. It's not a medicine. And it is, even though it does help with a lot of things, there have been a lot of studies done. You can look up those studies and you can find the actual names of the diagnoses in there. We are not allowed to actually make those claims. Even though the claims are true, we cannot say specifically that this will do those things. So we have to give you the names of the symptoms and can't give you the names of the actual diagnoses to let you know what this can do for you. So here are some things that it can do, and it does so much, y'all. I am amazed at the different people that I meet that have had this reaction or that reaction and all the different things, because it's an adaptogen and it is going to do what your body needs specifically for you. There's nothing else like this. This is amazing to me. So it helps with appetite, metabolism, aches, Sleep, mood, movement, temperature. Y'all, that's weird thing is my feet used to get really cold and my hands used to get really cold, and my body seems to be functioning, my extremities are staying warmer and I'm not freezing the way I used to be. So that's interesting to me. Memory and learning, immune function, inflammation, neural development, neuroprotection, cardiovascular function, digestion, and reproduction. And these are just a few. There are so many things that CBD can do. So, I'll say I've covered that it cannot get you high. I've covered how it works in your body. I have covered that, it also, you cannot test, if you take a drug test and you're taking the THC free, if you're taking CBD oil and you have THC free, it will not show up that you are on drugs, on a drug test. So you don't have to worry, like if you go to a place, if you work somewhere that has drug testing, it will not show up on a drug test. You'll be fine. My brother-in-law takes this. He's a driver. And if he has a wreck, they're going to do a drug test to make sure that he is not on drugs. So he had to be very careful before he got started taking CBD oil. And it has been wonderful for him. It has kept him from having, he had a car wreck a few years ago, and it has really helped him with his aches. He has a lot of aches. Okay, so I want to make sure I go over everything that I had on here for my CBD 101. The other thing that you just want to make sure, I think that was everything. If you want to make sure when you take your CBD oil of what's in there, it is very important that you understand that this is something for your body to help your body, and you do not need to take something that's going to hurt your body. There are a lot of carriers for CBD oil, and a lot of the carriers are not really the best. Some of them are okay, but we use a hemp oil carrier for our CBD oil. Also, on your label, you want to make sure that your CBD oil actually says CBD on the ingredient list, because I'm going to tell you right now, there are a lot of companies out there right now that are trying to make a quick buck, and they are selling you hemp oil. There's a difference between hemp oil and CBD oil, and CBD oil is going to do so much more for you than the little bitty bit that is in hemp oil. Hemp oil itself has a tiny amount of CBD. What they do is they take that CBD and they extract it from the hemp plant so that you get a concentrated CBD oil. So you want to make sure you're getting an extract. Your CBD oil is taken from the hemp plant in an extract, and that you carry it in the hemp oil. Because if you do just the hemp oil, you're getting like, I think it's 120 parts per million. It's tiny. I didn't bring that in here. I'm just saying this off from memory. So if you're doing the hemp oil just by itself, you're going to get some benefits from it, but make sure that your label says CBD oil on it. Also, right now, there are only 13 companies in the U.S. that have the certification, the Hemp Authority seal. The company I go through does have that seal, so we have to go through a lot more strenuous process. They make sure that what we say is in our product actually is in our product. And that what we're doing the best we can to give you the best product we can. You want to make sure that you use CO2 extracted CBD oil, because there are a lot of solvents that can be in there, like alcohol, and sometimes they even have things like lead and stuff in there, and acetone. You really don't want that in your CBD oil. They try to get most of it out, but there's still going to be that little bit in there. They can't get all of that out of there. So CO2 extraction is a very clean way to process the extract without having to worry about chemicals in your CBD oil. You want to make sure that your CBD oil is third-party lab tested, and on those lab tests that they actually test for things like mold and yeast and lead and arsenic. I have seen some really scary things on these lists, y'all. Also, I've seen glycerin as a carrier oil before, and glycerin as a carrier oil is, that's in soap, and I don't know how that's going to go well with your digestion, but it doesn't sound good to me. I wouldn't want to swallow that myself on a regular basis, because, I guess you wouldn't have to worry about bathroom troubles. So, but there are a lot of different carrier oils. You want to make sure you have hemp oil as your CBD oil carrier. You also want to make sure and you can't do this for anybody else because we're proprietary on this, but there's a dry lock seal that we use for our product. And that dry lock seal locks out mold and yeast, and this is within 4 minutes of harvesting. They've dry locked this in. So most of the time, whenever you go to the barns and you see where they're drying out the hemp, it's hanging from the barns and drying like you would dry flowers. And in that drying process, you lose a lot of your phytonutrients. Plus, mold and yeast are growing on these plants. Well, in order to dry ours the best way, we do the proprietary dry lock seal. It locks it in within 4 minutes of harvesting, and it locks out the mold and the yeast, and it helps lock in the phytonutrients. So you're getting a much better, full bodied plant. You want to make sure you're getting the best type of plant you can. So that's very important. Also, we are Kentucky grown. So our farms are in Kentucky. You don't have to worry about it being out of country. Some of these are from China and other places in Mexico, and you just want to make sure that your hemp is coming from America. Also, we are one of the government pilot programs. We are the government pilot program. So we are like the first. They were trying this out to see how this would all go, and so we have a lot of regulation on us that a lot of companies don't. So that's really cool. Also, we have our products are organic and they're non-GMO. So those are the things you really want to look for whenever you're looking for your CBD oil. Look at your labels. Do your research. Make sure that you really are getting something good and that you're not just getting hemp oil or something with a lot of additives. Your ingredients should be very small, 2 to 3 ingredients at most. So that's very important that you do that. So anyway, that's your CBD 101. And if y'all have any questions or comments for me, I'm more than happy to answer any of those. Comment, let me know if you have anything. I'm more than happy to help and get you set up, because this can do so much for you. It can change your life. And I want to help as many people as I can change their lives. Hopefully that's been a very good overview for you, that you can understand what all CBD does. Maybe I haven't missed too much of it. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Bye.